In this video, I'm going to give you 21 ways to fail at art. 21 ways to start sucking at art. Now, you might wonder, Antonio, why the hell would you do that? Well, it's this interesting concept of inverse problem solving, meaning that we actually state the problem that we're in and then do the opposite in order to find the solution. It's a very interesting concept. And to give you an example that's not art related, if I say, in order to stay very unhealthy, sit around all day and eat lots of sugar. So you can see that that makes sense and that might resonate with a lot of people. So if you're doing that, you might be like, oh, so I need to move around and not eat sugar, right? So by thinking in problems, which is easier for us to understand and more relatable because we might be doing those exact things, then it makes it easier for us to do the opposite and get to a solution. So we'll start with number one, delay the next drawing. Just delay it. Don't do it today, do it tomorrow. Postpone it, right? Easy to understand. If you don't start, you're always going to delay things and you'll be stuck and fail at art forever. Number two, make a plan, then ignore it. I love this one. So make a plan of what you're going to do and then don't do it. Then just skip it. And you'll be the worst at art in no time. Because if we make a promise to ourselves and then not keep it, that's when we run into trouble. When you have a certain layout, when you're following a program, when you're doing a course, when you're following the Artwod road, you have this plan laid out and then you ignore it, then that's how you stay stuck, period. So do the opposite. Make a plan, stick to it. Number three, do the minimum amount of work and then move on. So to give a practical example, draw hands. Just do that for 1 hour, just the minimum amount of what you can find online. Just do the minimum and then move on. Then think like, okay, I got this, move on. I've explained this in the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's how you get horrible at art. So as always, do the opposite, right? Keep persistent working on something that you need to learn. Do it for a long period of time until some pieces of information really stick in that long-term memory. Number four, learn all the fundamentals at once. Try to do them all at once. Don't categorize them. Don't take them step by step. No, just try to do them all at once. Try to do perspective, form understanding, design, composition, values, color, shading. Do it all at once and then stay stuck. You don't want to do that. You want to compartmentalize your learning in order to get a better understanding of the concepts you're trying to learn. Number five, ignore advice from others. Now, this is a detrimental one because I see this a lot of times with students that have watched a certain tutorial of someone they look up to, and then they get advice from someone else and they just completely ignore it because X person said it that way and Y person says it this way, and I love X person more than Y person, so I'm going to do it that way, not that way. Ignoring advice is stupid when the people giving you advice are better than you. Now, you're not going to take advice from people that are way worse than you in most cases. But if they're better than you, take that advice. You don't have to apply all of that advice, but you have to go through the experience of understanding that the advice is useful for you or not. Number six, follow trends. Don't do what you think you should be doing. Don't focus on the fundamentals, the basics, the things that will get you good. No, just follow trends. Just follow the cool trends and that's all you do, and then boom, you'll be a sucky artist in no time. Just follow the trends. And it's normal because you're focused on something you shouldn't be focusing on, especially in the beginning of your development. You should follow basics. There's nothing wrong with trends, but only following trends will be a detriment to your learning. Number seven, kind of relatable to one of the previous ones, but brush over the basics. Go like perspective, I learned a bit of it. I now understand 1 point and 2 point. I've seen it in a tutorial. Got it. Perspective done. Moving on. If you just brush over the basics, then you'll be a sucky artist in no time. Trust me. That's the way to do it. If we look at the opposite, the constant, persistent application of the basics is what makes great artists great. I keep repeating this, but doing the boring, unsexy stuff is the best and most certain way to get really, really good at things because that is the tools. Those are the magic tools that you literally create magic with. It's not the pretty cherry on top. It's not the whipped cream. It's the ingredients. You need the ingredients. You need to understand the ingredients in order to make your ice cream. Number 8, only draw what you want. That's you should do that. Like if you want to suck at art, just do that. Just only draw what you want. The reason for that is simple because if you're only drawing what you want, you're not really applying all of the fundamentals that you can. Sometimes if you want to draw, let's say, just heads or just figures, then there's not always a great reason to practice perspective with figures because you can draw them in a very graphic way. However, if you then try something like hard surface or cars or something industrial or still life, perspective becomes much more important. And it's that knowledge that you gain from doing those other subject matters that will reinforce your figure drawing. And it works all the other way around. That's why I'm such an advocate for drawing many different subject matters in your development, especially in the early stage of your development, because you really need to understand those fundamental principles that you need in order to draw them. And that will always transfer in the things you want to eventually draw. Now, before I continue, we actually know that almost 70% of you guys watching are not subscribed. That's outrageous. All right? So, show us some love and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Number 9, my favorite, binge watch tutorials. Just go on YouTube and just watch hour-long tutorials. Buy that expensive course and just binge it. It's the best way to stay bad as an artist. It's the best way to suck at art. The very best way. Just binge it. Just take your, just put yourself in the sofa, watch 2-hour-long tutorials, and then just do nothing with it. Just look at it and then watch the next one. I don't think I need to explain that, right? This is the entire reason we made the roads at Artwod is to not binge. It's to watch a small portion of a fundamental principle you need and then apply it more times than you're actually watching the video. That's the best way to learn something. Number 10, obsess over the perfect drawing. That's what you should do. Obsess over it. You need to want to draw the perfect drawing. That's the best way to start failing as an artist. You need to obsess over that perfect drawing. In the beginning of your development, like just do one drawing a week. Just one drawing a week and you'll stay stuck forever. I can promise you that. I mean, it's normal. Right? If you obsess over things that need to be perfect, but you don't even have the skill set in order to make them perfect, why try and make them perfect? The best way to go about this is to make as many failed drawings as you can. There's this great story about a teacher dividing his class into 2 groups of pottery making or baking. I don't know what it's called. Pottery, just pottery. And one group needed to make at the end of the term a perfect vase. And the other group needed to make as many vases as possible. The irony was that the group that needed to make as many vases as possible not only ended up with more vases, but also better ones. Because they learn. It's through failure that you learn. It's through application that you learn what works and what doesn't work. If you obsess over the perfect vase or the perfect drawing, you're not going to learn. There's no learning cycle. There's no learning behavior because you're not failing. So if you want to stay stuck as an artist, obsess over the perfect drawing. Number 11, take all feedback personal. That's a fantastic way to stay stuck. Now, this is more of probably a thing you will more encounter in a professional setting because I've seen this with junior artists that when they first start their first jobs or like a first couple of jobs, or the very first time they actually get into a pipeline, they don't just do small commissions for either private people or just small companies. They're like directly working in a pipeline. Suddenly they get feedback on their work. And feedback in a professional setting is to highlight all the things not working for that project. That's the sole purpose of a senior artist, an art director. It's regardless of their own personal taste. It's to highlight the problems with the things you've done for the good of the project. But a lot of the times, especially junior artists, take this personal. And it you can see it's very demotivating for them. And it's not this, it's not the way the feedback is given. It's not the fault of the senior artist or the art director, unless they're a dick, but usually that doesn't happen. It's more about your personal perception on how the feedback is received. You are taking it personal. And if you take things personal instead of taking them professional and just seeing what you need to work on, your sort of your weaknesses being exposed, that's an opportunity for growth. But if you take it personal, then you shut down that opportunity and you stay stuck forever. Number 12, obsess over tools. Yeah, just you need to get that latest brush. You need to download that brush pack. You need that special piece of software in order to draw the way you want to draw. And if you do that, you'll be a failed artist in no time. Number 13, focus on the outcome, not the process. Just focus on the result. Don't focus on how you're going to get to the result. Just if you want to fail at art, focus on the result. You want to get that drawing. You want to get that specific painting. You have something in your mind and that needs to come out. And you will not be satisfied with anything else. The best way to stay stuck. Trust me, try it, you'll see. We need to focus on the process. Enjoying the process. He who loves to walk walks further than he who loves the destination. Famous quote, makes all the sense in the world. Focus on your process. And you will not find the perfect process in the beginning. That's why you need to do a lot of drawings, a lot of paintings in order to find your process, the thing you enjoy. The outcomes will take care of themselves always. Number 14, only focus on your strengths. Kind of similar to only drawing what you want, but not quite. Only focusing on your strengths is something, for instance, I also see with people in CrossFit is that they never grow as athletes because they only do what they're good at. If they're very good at cardio, they only do cardio. If they're very good at gymnastics, they only do gymnastics. And they're like, I'm not improving in my CrossFit competition, in my CrossFit athleticism. I'm like, no shit, you're not training your weaknesses. Whereas when I train, the only thing I do in training is trying to expose my weaknesses. When I find a weakness, I just hammer down on it. And it can be something as silly as just having better grip strength. It can be something as very complex as having a better lift. But I expose it and then I train it rigorously so that I get better at it, because my strengths will always be strengths if you maintain them. It's very easy to maintain strengths. It's very hard to improve weaknesses. So you need to put extra effort into weaknesses than you do into strengths. Number 15, never, ever, ever post your progress. Never. Don't do it. Don't keep it private. Keep everything private. Keep it in your little bubble. That's the best way to fail as an artist. If the goal is to be a failed artist, just keep it all private. Don't share anything with the world. If you don't share anything, there's a couple of things that happen. One, psychologically, you'll always have the feeling that nothing you've done is finished. Whereas I'm not sure who said it. I think it was Loish. But she said, I consider a painting finished once people see it. And I love that. If you can, because you want to share your art. You make art for the world. You can make it for yourself in terms of the enjoyment you get out of art, the enjoyment you get out of the process of doing it. But the result is for the world to see. Not only to see, also to critique, to give feedback on. It will help you. It will help you grow. Just like I could make a business like Artwod and just not share it with anyone. I could make YouTube videos and just keeping them all private. But what good would it do? Like if I do that, there's no direct response from the public and I'm not sure how to improve those videos. I'm not saying I listen to all the feedback, but I'm saying like it helps me grow as an artist, as a creator. So share your art if you want to improve. Number 16, focus on style early on. Go for the style. Don't worry about fundamentals. Just obsess over style. Only do anime. Only do the Blizzard style. Only do the Riot style. Only do Arcane style. Just focus on it. Just only do that. Don't worry about your own development. Don't worry about your own voice. You want to stay stuck? Just focus on style. That's it. Number 17, only copy others. Similar to my last point, just if you want to stay stuck, just copy other artists. Don't analyze them. Don't try to break down their process and the fundamental thinking they're going about. No, just copy them. Just copy them stroke for stroke. Just really, really try to do a perfect copy of their painting. And then boom, you're on your way to be a failed artist. And I see this all the time. Copying is fine. Okay. It's an act of endearment. It's somewhat of flattery towards the artist. I have copied. Don't get me wrong, but only copying can be detrimental to your growth because you're not really focusing on understanding fundamentals, understanding the thinking of the artist. You're just focused on getting the outcome. It's the same thing again. It's not about the process. You're just only worried about the outcome. And if you're worried about the outcome, if you're obsessed over the outcome, that's it. Number 18, avoid bad drawings at all costs. Don't do them. Don't do bad drawings. Avoid them like the plague. You should be fearful of bad drawings if you want to be a sucky artist. Try to avoid them. Avoid that bad painting. Avoid that bad drawing. Only go for perfection. And you'll be stuck forever. Trust me. Trust me on this one. Number 19, expect results immediately. Once you start drawing, there should be immediate results. And the next drawing, immediate results. And the next drawing after that, you should be better. And the next drawing after that, you should be even better. Always expect better and better and better and better results. And it's the best way. If you want to be a failed artist, that's what you should do. Focus on getting a better result every time. I obviously exaggerate these points, but I know a lot of you watching this can sometimes relate to what I'm saying. Because that expectation, again, it has to do with outcome, but it also has to do with just the understanding of the learning process. And again, if I relate this to physical training, and in my case, it's CrossFit, but it can be any physical training you do, any sport you do, any hobby you do, by the way, doesn't really matter what it is. You come at a point, and it takes maturity, but if you understand it more early on, then the better for you, because young athletes understand this as well. Not every day is the same, and it can be extremely different. And what I mean by this is like, there will be days in my physical training where I will have trouble lifting 60% of my max. 60%. That's a 40% decrease in my strength. Now, if you take that day by day, you will get depressed. But if you understand that it's just part of the process, just one of those days. Maybe my diet was bad. Maybe I had a bad sleep. Maybe my central nervous system is not really optimal today. Whatever it is, it's always something. And it's usually something you cannot really control. But the important part is that you trained anyway. You learned something. You did something. You were consistent, which is far more important than focusing on the result of that day. Focus on the results of 3 months, of 1 year. I can promise you, if you are consistent with your learning in whatever you do, there will always be results. But if you focus on results day by day, you will always be disappointed and you'll be stuck forever. Number 20, label yourself early. And this is especially apparent in today's social media. You post a drawing and that gets 10 times more likes than your other drawings. And you're like, I'm that guy. That's my jam. And you only focus on that. And you either get demotivated because you really didn't want to draw all of that all the time. You stagnate because you're not really learning. Maybe that one drawing came very natural to you. It was easy to do, but it was not fulfilling because it is easy to do. A lot of times, things that are easy to do are not fulfilling. Remember that. You want a sense of progress in your learning. And that only comes from challenging yourself and then growing. So if you label yourself very, very early on, you run the risk of stagnation and locking yourself at a certain level you can't get out of, or you're not going to get out of easily because you've already almost set your ways. So remember that. Do not label yourself too early. And then number 21, my favorite one. You have to believe that at some point you're too old to start art. If you're over 20, forget it. Stop right now and you'll be a sucky artist for the rest of your life. Trust me, that's what you need to do. You have to believe that at some point it's just too late. Obviously, that's not true, guys. It doesn't matter when you start. What matters is that you understand all of the things that I just listed, that you don't do that, you avoid that, and you work on growing, you work on progress, you work on consistency. You understand that not every day is the same, and you just grow. And you can do that at any age. So there you go. If you want to stay a sucky artist for the rest of your life, follow my 21 step in this video, and I can promise you, you'll be sucky for the rest of your life. All right. With that said, happy drawing. I'll see you in the next one.